love is not always about forgiveness. In the gritty ports of 1710 Caribbean, this is my story: a woman who rose from a scorned prostitute to a mighty pirate queen, betrayed by her lover and shunned by those she trusted. They gaslit me into believing I was worthless, but I uncovered their treachery and seized control of the seas. I refused to forgive, chose revenge, and made my name legendary in a world that tried to break me. This heart-shattering historical drama of betrayal, transformation, and courage will break you, make you question who you trust, and show you the power of reclaiming your destiny. My name is Isabella, and the streets of Port Royal were once my world. I lived in the shadows of the Caribbean's bustling trade hub, surrounded by my lover, Captain James Harrow, a dashing privateer, my surrogate family of fellow outcasts, including my confidant, Mary, and my younger friend, Tom, a dockhand with dreams of sailing. We were bound by survival, scraping by in a town ruled by wealthy merchants and corrupt officials. Our nights were filled with whispered hopes in taverns, shared meals of stolen bread, and dreams of a better life. I was 28, a woman of the night, hardened by necessity but clinging to a dream of opening a safe haven for women like me, a place where we could be more than society's refuse. James promised me a future marriage, freedom, a life beyond the port's cruelty. The upcoming festival, a grand event to honor the governor's new trade deal, was meant to be our turning point, where James would announce our engagement and secure my place at his side. I thought I was his heart, his hope, his equal. I was so wrong. The festival was Mary's idea. "Let's show them you're more than they think," she said, her smile kind but cunning. I envisioned a night of redemption, music, lanterns, and James' arm around me, proving I could rise above my past. I spent weeks preparing, stitching a simple but elegant dress from scraps, practicing words to charm the crowd, imagining a life where I was defined by my trade. Tom helped hang lanterns, and Mary hinted at a grand surprise. I was hopeful, my heart racing with dreams of a new start, picturing James' proud smile, our future secure. I'd lay awake in my cramped room, dreaming of the festival, replaying James' promises, whispers of love, his vow to take me to sea. I believed they saw me, valued me, loved me. I was naive, blind to the storm they were brewing. The festival night arrived, and Port Royal's harbor glowed, lanterns swaying, tables piled with food, a fiddler's tune dancing over the waves. I stood tall in my dress, my hair braided with a ribbon, James' arm around me, as we mingled with merchants and sailors. The crowd buzzed with talk of James' rising status. My heart swelled, feeling like it escaped my past. Mary took the stage, her voice ringing out, and I expected her to toast our future. Instead, her tone turned cold. "We must address Isabella," she said, revealing a forged ledger supposedly mine, confessing it stolen from James' crew, shaming him. The crowd gasped, their eyes piercing me. Then, a second display showed real letters, James' correspondence with a governor's daughter, Eliza, confirming had courted her for her family's wealth, planning to abandon me to secure an inheritance. I was frozen, my breath caught, clutching a locket James had given me, now a cruel reminder. The ledger was a lead, never stolen a coin. But his letters were real, and his betrayal for wealth hit like a cannon blast, shattering my heart. "This isn't true," I cried, my voice breaking, tears welling as my dress felt like a mockery. But Mary pressed on, her words venomous. "Isabella's disgraced us all," she said, her eyes gleaming with false pity. The tavern keeper, who'd treated me like a sister, shook her head. "We're ashamed, Isabella." The dockmaster, a father figure, added, "You've ruined James' honor." Tom stood silent, eyes down. James, my lover, the man I'd trusted with my soul, muttered, "I'm sorry," but offered no defense, his face pale with guilt. The crowd jeered, merchants turned away, and whispers of my treachery spread like wildfire. My festival, my moment of redemption, became a public execution. I fled to the docks, sobbing in my dress, the lanterns mocking my pain. They'd blamed me for James' betrayal to protect their ambitions, but I didn't know why they'd turned so viciously. I confronted Mary the next day in a smoky tavern, my eyes swollen, my voice raw, clutching the locket. "Why forge that ledger? Why cover for hymns?" I demanded. She smirked, her eyes cold. "James' future is worth more than you, Isabella. You were asking too many questions." My mind raced, piecing it together. For months, it'd been probing their dealings, questioning missing cargo, Jameis' secret meetings, and whispers of a deal with the governor. They'd been smuggling goods to fund Jameis' alliance with Eliza's family, securing her inheritance to elevate their status. My questions about the cargo threatened their scheme, and they'd known about Jameis' betrayal for months, using it to frame me as a thief to silence me. The tavern keeper confirmed it, her voice flat. "We needed the governor's favor." The dockmaster added, "You should have stayed quiet." Tom muttered, "It's for our survival," avoiding my gaze. James, guilty, said, "I thought it would secure our future," but admitted had told Marie about Eliza, letting them spin it against me. They didn't cast me out, but they made me a pariah, shunning me in the streets, spreading lies that I was a thieving harlot. James grew distant, and Port Royal saw me as the woman who shamed their hero. The months that followed were a living hell. I stopped working the streets, retreating to a shack by the docks, replaying the festival in my head. Jameis' letters to Eliza haunted me. Had I been too unworthy for him? Mary's visits were relentless, her voice soft but cutting. "Perhaps you were too greedy, Isabella." The tavern keeper sent messages. "We care for you, but you need to change." Tom urged me to confess my faults. James, torn by guilt, asked me to forge it for peace. Their gaslighting was so convincing, I began doubting myself, questioning if it brought this on myself. It hold the locket, its shine gone, terrified it lost my chance at a better life. My dream of a safe haven withered, replaced by shame. I avoided the port, dodging jeers, my heart breaking with every insult. Isabella's a disgrace. I was a shadow, my hope crumbling, their love a cruel light. But one stormy night, alone in my shack, I found a scrap of paper it written years ago, vowed to rise above my circumstances, to be more than my past. "Your strength is your sea, Isabella," it scrawled. Those words lit a fire in me. I was at the villain they'd painted. It'd been betrayed. I decided to fight back, not with tears, but with power. It learned the ways of the docks, overheard sailors' plans, and knew where James kept his ship's logs. With trembling hands I infiltrated his quarters and found proof, letters between Mary, the dockmaster, and James, detailing their smuggling and his affair with Eliza to secure her wealth. The truth hit like a tidal wave. He wasn't worthless. They were traitors. I resolved to reclaim my destiny, not just for me, but for every woman they'd cast aside. The governor's annual trade feast was approaching, a grand event on a docked merchant ship, attended by Port Royal's elite, where James would seal his alliance with Eliza's family. I had no status, but had learned to navigate the shadows. I spent weeks gathering Eliza's outcast sailors, women like me, and a rogue Captain Diego, who saw my fire. I wasn't out to destroy them, but to claim my place. I trained with Diego's crew, learning to wield a cutlass, and planned my moment, my heart steady with purpose. The trade feast arrived, the merchant ship aglow with lanterns, packed with merchants, officials, and Eliza's family. James stood tall, Mari at his side, trusting their prosperity. I slipped aboard, disguised in a stolen pirate coat, my cutlass hidden, heart pounding. As Mary's speech peaked praising Jameis' honor, I signaled Diego's crew. We stormed the deck, unveiling my evidence, letters and logs projected by lantern light, exposing their smuggling and Jameis' betrayal. "This is the truth about your heroes," I declared, my voice cutting through the sea breeze, clutching my locket. "They shamed me to hide their greed in Isabella, and am no one's scapegoat." The crowd gasped, merchants muttering, Eliza's family recoiling. Mary froze, her goblet trembling. James tried to speak, but my Elise silenced him. I poured out my heart, my voice fierce. I was their outcast, their shame, but they betrayed me, used my name to cover their lies. Enough. I spoke of the pain, the nights I wept, the way they tried to break me. I looked at James, my eyes blazing, and said I deserved better. The crowd cheered, some women weeping, sailors nodding. I seized James's ship, declaring myself captain, and sailed into the night, my new crew at my side, leaving Port Royal in chaos. The aftermath shook the seas. James's alliance collapsed, Eliza's family withdrew, and their smuggling ring was exposed. Mary sent desperate letters, accusing me of betrayal. You betrayed me first. I wrote back, now captain of my own ship. The tavern keeper and dockmaster pleaded, but I stood firm. You chose greed over loyalty. Tom apologized, and I forgave him. He was young, misled. James begged for a chance, but I chose the sea, my heart too scared. I built my legend as a pirate queen, raiding corrupt merchants, protecting outcasts, and founding my safe haven for women. My new crude ego, sailors, and women like me cheered my first raid. I'm still healing, the betrayal a scar. I miss Tom's kindness, even Mary's old warmth. Port Royal's scorn stings, but am not the woman who doubted herself anymore. In Isabella, who claimed her truth, whole never let lies dim her light. My revenge wasn't just vengeance, it was my legend, born on the seas. Betrayal cuts deep, but it forges who's real. Don't let anyone silence your truth or steal your power. Your heart is your sea, and no storm can take that away. If this story stirred your soul, like and subscribe for more historical dramas. Share your fight in the comments. We're stronger together.